My name is Elise Ramsbæk. I'm from Denmark, and I am gonna talk to you about the evolution of the Sculpto printer. Sculpto is a Danish company. It is running in a different time zone than at least America. It's Central European time. That means we're 1 hour ahead of the GMT, 2 hours during our daylight saving time, or summertime as we call it in Denmark. The original Sculpto launched on Kickstarter, and it had let's just say they've made some upgrades over the years. It started out with a white build plate, and you can see they're used a little differently. And this is a flexible build plate. Almost flexible, right? But it helps get prints off. And it came with a 1.6 millimeter nozzle. And in August 2016, it went into beta test. I was one of the beta testers. And then we worked through some issues with both the printer and the software. One of the physical issues was the precision of the print arm was not good enough that we could make decent prints over the center of the build plate, which sucked. And for this reason, every one of the beta testers returned their beta printer, and I received my real original in August 2016. It was noisy. I will post a link to a video of my setup from December 2016 in this cabinet, and you can really hear the difference of when it's open and closed. So the filament used was Eson filament. Look like this. Rebranded Eson filament, as we call it, because it has the Sculpto logo. There are a lot of different colors. You can also see that in the video. Some of them were these glass colors. They were discontinued quite quickly, partially because they were quite impossible to get the raft off. You have to learn to design for it, I guess. And because these were flexible, they were also very uneven, and if you flexed it enough, it would get even more so, at least for some people. There were a period where people were advised to basically put in the oven with a heavy stone on top to flatten it. So there were some issues with the build plate. And some people experimented with, like, okay, how to get things off, and it was a little difficult. So when they launched the Sculpto Plus on Kickstarter in 2017, it came with a built-tack top. Still flexible build plate, but it had this different design on top, and you can see here I actually have some of the glass clear filament still on here, because it is impossible to get off. Yeah, it became way more silent. One of the major updates was that it was suddenly a noise level that you could handle being around. I received mine in December 2017. Later there was an update for the filament here. Yeah, I have some here. Hopefully you can see them. And they were, I'll take them out. There were originally this line that the filament had to go through. So it was very exact. And the ridges in here, they didn't have the best of grips. So they made this one. This is a power grip. Now this is a little worn. but they made these as replacement parts. So if people had issues with the filament not being pushed through, they were recommended to update. And then came the glass build plate. That came, at least I got mine in October 2018, and that came in October 2018 as well, or at least I got mine. The glass build plate was supposed to solve the issue of the build plate not being even. I no longer have mine because, well, it broke. The first larger thing I was supposed to print on it, I could not get it off because glass is not flexible. Still had the build tack top. So I broke the build plate trying to get the print off. Wasn't optimal. So in May 2019, they introduced the magnetic build plate, or the build plate Pro, as it was called. Yeah, that's this one. Every new printer is like, it comes with this one as standard. This is not flexible, but opposite of the glass, it's not just gonna break. Also, you can peel off the top, which is really practical because this is the high flexibility one, and this is very flexible, especially compared to the original ones, which makes it very easy to peel off your print. They also launched a less flexible one. This is a little more comparable to the original ones. Yeah. This is supposed to be for like high detail prints or larger prints. I don't use it much because the other one works fine for me, and I think this is more difficult to put on the actual build plate. I have a video on how to put that one on without damaging your fingers. Sometime in the late 2019, a new type of filament was launched, and this looks a little different. This type here. I don't recall if it was launched at the same time as the Sculpto Pro 2. This is my Plus, this is my Pro 2. But it probably was, because on the Pro 2 you cannot select your filament type. It is this one. On the other one, on the Pro, on the Plus, you get a choice of old filament, new filament. But the Pro 2 was launched, and I think that was also at the end of 2019. I was not a first mover in that because I already had 2 working 3D printers, actually at the time 1, because I shipped my original Sculpto off to my brother because he has children. They could use it to play with. He hasn't set it up yet, but shh. The Pro 2 came with a smaller nozzle, a 0.4 millimeter nozzle. It's 4 centimeters taller. You can see a bit of a size difference. For me, it means I have an issue with the top of my cabinet. Of course, comes with the magnetic build plate, and I got mine in April 2020. And well, personally, right now I'm liking my Plus more because I have no patience with prints, and the smaller nozzle size means prints take a longer time. They're prettier to look at, sure, but I have no patience. So this is, I hope this is educational for you. There have been a lot of updates to the Sculpto. This is just the physical part. The app has gone through like huge steps, and well, some people still have problems with it, but there's a learning curve to everything. So this is the situation. August 2020. Maybe a new version will come at some point. This is the evolution so far.